Hey, it's episode 2. This feels so weird to say that with saying 40-something for a good papa.
Yeah.
At time of recording this.
And even Lost Omens is up to, we just did 18.
Yeah.
So to say a one-syllable number is just crazy.
It's strange.
This is our only minor show.
For now.
Yeah.
We'll get it up
It's
there.
also the only show with minors. On the
Yes.
So many different uses of that word. But welcome back. Thank you for being a patron. Got to say that for sure because we really appreciate you. I don't just say that. I really mean it. I really appreciate all of you out there as patrons. Unless you gave this RSS feed to somebody, then it's not okay.
It's like
JB's on the way. Don't worry.
Yeah.
If you've done that.
he will find you. He knows.
To do what? What is JB going to do?
I
It'll
don't know.
make you feel real bad. Have you seen JB's like pouty guilty face?
Yeah.
He is adorable.
You're going to get a knock on your door and he's going to say, mother, father. Oh, jeez, guys.
Jeez. Well, you know you shouldn't have done that.
Mother, father.
jeez.
Gotta use that one.
That's a good one. He also likes to say, oh, sugar. Because he's a grandma. All right. So we are traveling to the Southlands on the giant dwarven ship. Maybe a frigate would be a better word for it. I was trying to think what's a word for a
what?
big ship. A frigate.
Frigate.
A frigate?
A boat.
Yeah.
That's what you say when you're like mad. Frigate.
Yeah. When you're trying to not swear like JB.
Yeah.
The frigate is a very large ship.
I don't think that's
Like battleship. You had a frigate. Unless it's like frigate. Butcher the pronunciation of
Don't
everything.
try and search it up.
Yeah, right. You guys are a few days out yet from the continent, and you found out there seems to be some kind of sickness going around.
I solved that.
Investigated a little bit, and Bethen discovered it was rat fever.
Yeah, it happened. We were alerted to it right when we woke up. We really kind of got up and then had to get down with the sickness.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but Melissa hadn't spent enough time in the cities with lots of rats to have experience with this, so Bethen was able to diagnose it instead. And you found out there have been people going missing as well, and you're trying to find out, are these things connected somehow? Or are they something separate? Are they separate issues going on? You're not really sure yet.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, maybe.
Or not. I don't.
It'll figure itself out, honestly.
Yeah.
So you guys were in the hall, and
Yes.
you're going to go talk to somebody. As a reminder, there were 2 lumberjacks sick, 3 men-at-arms, one of the dwarf engineers, and 2 of the sous chefs.
Okay.
And Elsbeth had recommended to talk to like the leaders of those groups to find out more about those people.
It was a car in the background of Alex's.
Okay.
It sounded like a trombone at
Yeah.
first.
I was like, what the fuck was that? Okay. That made me feel better. Thank you. I'm sorry. What did you say she said to do?
Elsbeth recommended talking to the leaders of the groups of the different people that were that are sick. She didn't know who it was exactly, but she thought like talk to who's in charge of them to find out what they were up to, try to find some kind of commonality potentially.
To the kitchen.
I was just going to say that. And quickly, too.
Back to the kitchen.
It's time for elevensies.
Back to
the kitchen.
Kitchen.
Alrighty, so you guys can head back to the kitchen. You see it's a hustle and bustle in there, especially with 2 of the chefs not there. It's just kind of crazy in there at the moment. They're trying to get things ready for lunch soon.
All right.
I'm just gonna march in and say, "Kellum, what's for lunch?"
So in the kitchen we have there are 2 halflings are the main chefs. There's Kettle Cry, Pie Grabber, and Mort. And then they have a few cooks, human cooks in there. There's a Lily, a Felix, Darren normally would be in there but is sick, and then Phillipe is also sick. And there's a third human in there trying to work named Yeoman.
Trying to work.
Well, yeah, with down 2 people there.
Oh yes. I thought you meant like conscripted and doesn't know how to cook.
They seem to know what they're doing. And they're like, oh, what do you need? What is it? Breakfast is all gone.
Well, I'm going to pop myself up and be like, 11sies. How about 11sies, Kelcry?
Lily, that we don't, not on this ship. Maybe we get things established in the colony. We can educate these humans on the way we should eat, but
you really have to wait that long? You sure?
it's not much longer.
All right.
We just don't have enough.
Well, where's your missings? Where are those other two?
Darren and Phillipe got sick.
That's actually what we're here to talk to you about. I went and examined the patients. And
Very good.
I determined that the cause of all of their illnesses is rat fever.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Yes. Can be caused by a rat bite or by ingesting contaminated rat meat.
Oh, I don't know why they'd be eating rat meat. We got plenty of good food up here.
So you have not been serving rats. I do not mean to offend. Although I know that rat in the city, it is very common to eat rat.
I have no problems with rats.
It is incredibly
you
common.
don't have problems with rats.
So,
not in my ship. We're not going to eat rat.
Of course.
And no dignified person would serve a rat. I apologize that my companions would even suggest that such a thing occurs in this kitchen.
Well, thank you, Longshanks. But yeah, I mean, there's rats around, kind of more than I would expect on a dwarven ship. But we've killed a few in the kitchen, but I never put them in the food.
But you do think that the rat population is more significant than what would be considered normal?
Yeah, especially when you have a rat catcher aboard. She kind of, this is Ket that's talking to you, and he kind of slaps Lily on the back, like to show that he's just joking around.
Do you think anyone else on your staff may have been bitten by a rat recently?
I don't know. Anybody been bitten by a rat? Turns and just kind of yells, and they're all like, what? No, chef. No, chef. No, guess not.
Do let me know if this does happen. The incubation period can be incredibly long.
Oh.
You could be bitten and not develop symptoms for over a week.
Oh. Well, that sounds obnoxious. No, I don't think anybody's been bitten. I get man. Were Jarrod and Phillipe?
Yes, they were both bitten.
Oh. Well, that's not good. Hope we get to the bottom of it quick.
Do you know where their living quarters happen to be?
Oh, I mean, they're on the human bunks.
Okay.
I don't know where exactly. They show up, they do what they're supposed to, and they go back.
Okay.
Where'd you see them rats around here? Me and Vicious, we gotta help you out here.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you clear out a couple?
Yeah. Where do you normally see them? In the back? Over there? Under your feet?
Oh, usually in the storeroom. Yeah.
Roger.
You want to go check out the storeroom?
Yeah. Vicious and I are gonna go over to the storeroom. I'm gonna say, Vicious, hunt.
All right. Make a
Go.
perception check.
What am I rolling here?
Perception is a skill you have.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
under
some ranks
basic
in.
skill.
Middle row, fourth up from the bottom.
Yep.
What am I rolling?
So 100.
Both?
Yep. Roll
You
both. Try to get underneath. She's good.
Oh, okay.
14.
Nice.
so that's
so
gonna be
for
good.
every how do you describe it? For to determine how many, whether you pass or not is usually enough, but sometimes I need to know your success levels, which is how many
Tens place differences there are between what you rolled and your skill.
So my perception is a 42. And I rolled, it is a 14, right?
Yes.
A 14. So
you-
that's 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
And the big difference, and this was hard for me to get used to from the previous edition to this one, is you just go based on the tens digit. You don't worry about the ones whatsoever. Because that used to be kind of a thing.
I still do it, and I've only played this edition.
Yeah,
it's
right.
really fun.
I shouldn't even mentioned it when we were learning this system. So you got 3 success levels.
Yeah.
So you you find a rat in there. Do you have your sling ready? Did you go with your sling ready, or do you want to go with your pole?
I wasn't carrying my pole around because it's too big on this tiny ship, but I definitely was walking around with my sling and probably a dagger in my pocket.
All right, so make a ranged sling check. Try to kill this rat.
Now, what do I roll for that?
So that'll be on the first page. What's that advanced skill?
I think it would be an
Sling.
advanced skill.
So that's the part that you filled in. So it's your ballistic skill. Yep,
Range
range
sling.
sling. And then you have a 5 in it. So go over to your ballistic skill.
45 plus
Yep.
5 is 50.
Yep.
Nice.
50.
Oh, so exactly?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you nail this rat and kill it with a sling stone.
Ping. Nice. Just one?
That's all you see in there at this time.
All right.
Can we look at the rat and see, like, would she know if this rat looks different from usual or, like, infected in any way? Or
Does anybody have any ranks in animal care?
Me.
Yes.
So let you make an animal care test to see what you might know about this rat.
3 success levels.
Nice.
-1, actually.
Heinrik has animal care, but he absolutely will not check out this rat.
That makes perfect sense. I
Well, I'm
like
going
it.
to carry this rat back over in my fist and be like, look, I got a rat.
On her first try, too.
So if you don't make it, you can say 1 negative success level.
Yeah, okay, 1 negative then.
So looking at this, Gerti, you feel, I mean, it looks like a rat. It's kind of big for a rat, but it doesn't seem out of the ordinary otherwise.
It's pretty big for a rat, but doesn't seem too out of the ordinary.
I'll eat this for my 11sies. If everybody's okay with that.
Well,
Cat's like, get it out of my kitchen.
Fine.
I think we need to be pretty careful about eating them currently,
Fair. I will accept this for now.
at least in front of other people.
Yeah.
Heinrik's gonna, since we're in the kitchen and I had instructed most of my servants to kind of check out the cleanliness situation,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look for Otto, Luca, and Wirt, and he'll be calling out, Otter, Linda, have you followed up on what I had asked you to do this morning?
They're in like the galley. They've been waiting for you. And Otto comes up and he's like, yeah, it's clean in here.
You're certain that you didn't see any 4-legged creatures anywhere near food preparation? They said
I'm holding up
there
the rat.
definitely
I'm
wasn't.
pointing at the rat.
Otto's like, yeah, there's one right there.
I just imagine you, like, squeeze the rat to make it, like, perk up to attention and then it flops back down. Just
If I squeeze it, does it still squeak?
I mean, to be fair, you probably have to hold this rat in 2 hands anyway.
True.
It's pretty big. Luca's like, yes, Lord, it was, things seem clean as far as I could tell.
Excellent. I am so pleased with your hard work. And as a reward, I will only ask you to fluff my bedding once this evening. I will persevere in honor of your work.
Oh, very good. I'll do that now. And she starts to walk away. And the 2 follow because you didn't give them a direct instruction. So they're just going to go with her.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Cat's like, that's all you need, or you good? Real busy today.
I mean, we have the doctor right here. Maybe it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to have her.
Check out your ankles.
Yeah. Where do rats normally bite people?
The ankles is where they can reach you.
Mm.
Yes, lift your socks or pull them down, depending on how you wear them.
Cat and Mort laugh because halflings never wear anything on their feet.
I know.
That makes you even more susceptible.
So we'll make it quick then if you got to check us.
Okay, I will look. Do you want me to do?
Do like an easy heel check just to take a look at these people's legs, lower
With an
legs.
easy, I make it with 1 degree of success.
Oh, wow.
Or 1 level. Fuck. I would.
1 success level?
Yes.
We're trying to use the proper terms, and
Right.
it used to be called what she said.
Degree.
And so if I start saying it, I'm not going to stop. So
Yeah. Don't say it.
not as big of a deal for
Right.
settling the
'cause this is
Southlands,
not-
but
yeah.
all right. Yeah, so you look over these people and you don't see any wounds that look like what you saw in the infirmary,
Okay.
in the med bay.
Where were the ones in the infirmary bitten? Were they on the ankles?
Yes, the lower parts of their legs. Yeah.
Oh, great. That will make it significantly easier to check most of them.
There was, you noticed, the engineer was bit on his hands.
Ah.
Was the one that was slightly different.
Shall I set a trap just in case they come back? What kind of traps do I have on me? Are we talking like mouse traps, like bear traps, all of the above?
That could kind of be
traps?
up to your devising. What do you think that Liliana would use?
Poison sounds like a bad idea in a kitchen.
Indeed.
But I am going to... Do you think Vicious? Have Vicious see if he can like sniff out where the rat came from.
Okay.
And then if he can find like a corner or a hole the rat might have come out of, we'll set a rat trap right there in that corner.
Okay. You don't see any holes because everything is metal.
Mm-hmm.
Figure the rats can't like chew their way through, but obviously they're getting
Like
through.
a vent or something, I was thinking.
Could be
like
something like that.
Gap somewhere.
But yeah, you can find a good place to set a trap.
Then I'm going to set a small rat trap
Cool.
in the kitchen.
Trap. Cool.
It'd be a good way to judge how often they're in the kitchen if you can catch them regularly.
Correct.
And Ket is quite happy with that.
Well, we could go over to Grunson next, see what happened to the engineer, check out their place too.
I do find it interesting that this individual was bitten on his hands.
If he was reaching into a dark hole to try and fix something, yeah, he's going to get bit on the hands. That's where the
Mhm.
rat's going to hide. In the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Engineers do put their hands in holes.
Or small dark places.
Mm-hmm.
All right, to the engineers.
All right, where are you going to find these engineers?
In the engineering department.
So everyone make a quick gossip check.
Ooh, I'm good at this.
Let's make it challenging, so +0.
4 success levels.
Good God, I rolled a 98. Let's just assume I failed.
That's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
JB chair.
Too busy thinking about food.
Yeah, I have a 49 in
You're
it.
like,
So rolling a
okay.
96 to 100 is an auto fail.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
3 levels of success.
Heinrich?
Heinrich's got 3 success levels.
Wow. Okay. So you guys find out that they don't really like the engineering. Those that are part of the expedition that are engineers don't really have their own space like that. They just have a bunk. You know, they're in bunks and stuff like everybody else. Again, you're just kind of trying to fill time on your way. The dwarven engineers that work on the ship have access to more areas. But you do learn that Giovanni, that leads this group of engineers, is likely in his bunk with the other humans.
Yeah, let's head to the bunks then. I wanted to check that area out too, because if they're getting bitten in their bunks, which
While
would
they're
be likely,
sleeping?
yeah, that would be likely.
Okay. So you can find his room. It takes a little while to get there, of course, because this thing is so big. But you find the room that you were told to go to, since you guys can read, most of you.
We don't
I
have-
follow.
Yeah.
This is pretty exciting. Vicious can read though, yeah?
Good dog.
Yeah.
You can train him. He'll read for you.
So where is Mr. Marconi?
You want to give a knock on the door?
2 knocks, specifically.
All right. So a human answers the door that you figure is probably, could be him.
Hello, my name is Gertrude, but my friends call me Gerti. Are you Mr. Marconi?
Oh, yes. My name is Giovanni.
Giovanni, it's so great to meet you. We are investigating something,
Oh,
and
very good.
would like to maybe know a little bit of information about your engineer that is now under the weather.
Yes. Helena.
Yes, Helena.
Helena Grunald's daughter.
Correct. Yeah, that's why we're here. Does she sleep on the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
I don't know. The doors have their own rooms.
Have there been any rats in your bedrooms?
I've not seen any rats in my room.
Have you heard anyone complaining of rat bites?
But Helena was bit by a rat, yes.
Do you remember where she was bit?
On her hand.
Do you know where she was bit physically on the ship?
On her hand.
Right.
Where was she working when she was bitten?
Oh, where was she? Yes. Reichespiel is not my first language, so I apologize. We spend time in different places, but I know she had gone to the hold to look for some papers for me.
Paper hold.
That would make sense. Rats do love paper.
Is this true?
Prime nesting materials.
Okay,
I hope they don't use my papers for that. That's to plan out the city that we are going to build.
Keep them off the floor. Keep them contained. I'm adopting his accent over here.
I love the idea of Liliana doing that with like not even realizing it, and then people like taking offense, like she's making fun of them.
Totally. I thought this make us more friends now.
Friends are good.
I hope people don't take offense to my terrible Italian accent.
Do we have Italian listeners?
Maybe.
I mean, nobody was that offended by our terrible German accent.
That's true.
So
People called us out on it, but nobody was upset. They just thought it was funny, I think.
Well, they were polite about it.
Yes.
yes, they only sent a handful of YouTube videos about correct pronunciation.
But Giovanni, so as far as you're aware, she was bit on the hand when she went to the paper hold.
I think so. It was 2 days ago. She got sick.
Oh, was she bit 2 days ago, or was she bit like a long time ago?
I don't really know.
You don't ask your engineers about being bitten on body parts by rats?
Well, dwarves would like to be very private, as I assume you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Marconi, do you know of anyone else in your employ who may have been bitten by a rat?
No, Grunwald wanted to talk to me since Helena got bitten sick. So I don't know. Hopefully you solving this will let me speak with them again.
And you have not been bitten, correct?
Not that I have noticed.
It is important that you do self-checks on specifically your lower extremities.
Okay.
Because this is rat fever, which does not.
Oh,
have to be
yes,
deadly,
yes. We are
but-
very familiar with the rat fever in Tilia.
Yes. Wonderful.
How are your ankles?
They seem okay. Would you like to take a look?
If you don't mind.
Oh, okay. He pulls up his pant legs a little bit so you can take a look. You don't see any bites.
Does he have socks?
Yeah. He's well enough.
Seems like he would have socks.
I mean, he ain't a halfling, that's for sure.
That's right.
Taller than me.
That's true. He'd be a very big halfling.
If you do see rats in the living quarters, please alert us, as we have a renowned rat catcher in our employ.
Oh, yes. I just hope it's none of them people rats.
We don't talk about those.
As we have. Oh, in Tilia, it's not such a taboo subject.
Is that real?
What a disgusting rumor to indulge in.
I mean, if you see them, it's not a rumor, but I understand the Imperials like to think they don't exist.
We know.
So
And he says, yes, and he winks at you.
where would the paper hold be?
Oh, yeah, we have the cargo hold down below for the expedition.
Is that a place we could get into?
I think so.
Oh, great.
It is our things, so we have access to it.
Okay.
Mind if I go take a look down in there for the rats with my little vicious friend here?
Okay.
Okay.
Let us go to the hold.
Good luck. I don't know how to say that in Italian, or else I would.
Baba da boopy.
Buon sueno.
What?
I don't know.
Ciao.
Espresso.
Ice cream sandwich.
Lasagna, bye.
Now we got
You
offensive.
take some olive oil on the tomato.
Now I got to look and see if we do have listeners in Italy, because
Don't want to give away the
my
secret
God.
recipe. Huh?
Yesterday was not the day to do a bonus abs workout. It hurts so bad when I laugh.
I call him Pepper because he spiced up our lives.
Actually, and I'm assuming after we start walking, I'm going to say that Giovanni said he wasn't talking to his dwarf dwarf underlings.
Don't have any listeners in.
They're
really.
not sounding like they're friendly right now because one of the dwarfs got bit.
They're probably quarantined, right? Is that like what they've been doing?
Only the ones that got bit. That means the roommates might know something that Giovanni don't know.
So you would realize that her name is Helena Grunold's daughter, and the one he said is not talking to him is Grunold.
Oh, so
she-
father.
Yes.
Okay. Should we talk
He
to
mad.
her father before we go to the hold?
Yes.
Because I'm assuming that like living quarters are probably all like if we go running around the ship, we're wasting time and not being very economic with our energies.
It's getting near lunch.
Can't miss a lunch.
Definitely not missing lunch over here.
Who needs lunch?
Lunch.
So yeah, check.
But there is still the leader of the lumberjacks you could talk to is the only other group that you haven't spoken with.
All right. Do you want us to gossip check to find the leader of the lumberjacks?
Zellen, right?
Yes, Frederick Zellen.
Jack.
Sure.
I don't know.
We're doing gossip.
0.
Not 100.
Correct. Yes.
That
One
means-
negative success level.
4 success levels.
There you go.
Because a 6 is like
Really good.
Doesn't
Yeah.
get much better than, well,
I don't need to be full Italian anymore.
you're like Chef Boyardee Italian.
Well, that character brought to you by Bastion, patron.
Thanks, Bastion. He's the bomb.
All right, so with 4 success levels from Liliana, I had to think for a second what the name was. Not totally used to it yet. You find out not too far from here, a lot of the humans are bunked. A lot of the human expeditioners are bunked together. You guys were kind of a different, because you had a very specific job together. They put you guys together. But you can find Frederick's room. It was normally him and all of the lumberjacks. And I believe last episode I said Jack was one of them that got sick, but that that is not true. I misspoke.
It wasn't Essen, was it?
Yes,
Oh no!
just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you can find his room. I assume you knock again.
Twice.
2 knocks.
Yes.
Always.
So Frederick answers. You know it's not Jack because you've seen him around. He stands out as probably the largest human aboard. Even taller than Rudy, and has that big red beard, so he really stands out. And Frederick is a more slight of a man. He's got muscle on him as a lumberjack, but not anywhere near like Jack. He's got a little bit of a beard, brown hair, and he just says, can I help you?"
Yeah, we're here investigating some people that got bit by rats.
Oh, Lars and Victoria? Are they okay? Please don't tell me we lost any of them.
I don't think so. They're not dead, right?
No. They were bitten by rats, and they have contracted what is known as rat fever, which is treatable.
Oh, goodness.
They are currently sleeping, resting
Okay.
in the med bay. But did either of them say anything to you about being bitten by rats?
Well, no, I mean, Lars can't talk, so he definitely didn't say anything. But I don't, Victoria didn't mention anything. No.
And how long has it been since they fell ill?
What did I put down? I forget to write that down.
Seemingly. I like the idea of Heinrik just following us around. with his
Oh,
hands
yesterday.
behind his back.
Annoyed the entire time.
Yep.
Yeah, yesterday. It came on very suddenly.
As is possible with rat fever, it can vary between the onset being very quick or taking a long time. Tell me, what did they eat yesterday? Do you know? Did you eat with them?
Same thing everybody else. The kitchen only makes, you eat what the kitchen makes.
They didn't eat anything else? Anything that they perhaps picked up on our last stop? Or...
Oh, no, all that kind of stuff was gone a couple days ago.
Okay.
People are going to eat their snacks quick, it seems.
Rat fever can manifest more quickly when the afflicted ingests infected rat meat.
Oh. I hope they didn't. We've been killing rats, so maybe they thought it was extra food. I killed 3 yesterday.
Do they seem different to you in any way?
They're sick.
The rats?
She meant the rats.
Oh, the rats. I thought you were still talking about Lars. No, they're rats. They're kind of big, but they're rats.
Mind if I have a look around their sleeping space just to make sure we're all clear?
Oh, sure. Yes. He steps aside, and you see Jack is sitting on one of the beds just kind of looking out the porthole, and he looks over and he's like, hey, what do they want?
Where are your ankles?
What?
Show them to me.
Well, who are you telling me to show me your ankle? What?
I'm Gerti.
I'm going to pat Gertie on the shoulder and be like, take it down a notch.
May we see your ankles, sir?
Why?
Routine
Because
rat
there's a
inspection.
doctor.
She's not the doctor.
She's a doctor.
I am the boat's physician. I work under Dr. Melissa, and I have been checking people who have been cohabitating with those infected to make sure that they were not also bitten by rats.
Well, I would know if I was bitten by a rat.
You are a very large man. You might not notice if a tiny rat bites you.
All right, fine. He just kind of sticks his legs out and pulls his pant legs up.
All right, I'll check
You
his
don't
ankles.
see any rat bites on him.
Okay.
Maybe you're
Can I do odds and evens with his leg hair? No, I'm just kidding.
too tough to even be bitten by a rat.
Well, yeah, you see the rat and you just stomp on it. Don't let it bite you.
Good man right there. I'm here just to do a routine rat inspection. You mind if I look in some corners?
Sure.
All right.
I guess.
Just going to root my nose around in literally every corner of their personal space.
Hey, get off my bunk.
Got to make sure no rat in your bunks.
Your bunk has corners. You did say she could look at your corners.
All right. You're done in here. He starts to usher you out. And Frederick's like, no, it's fine, Jack. They're doing their work. I said they get out of here.
What are you hiding, Jack? How many rats?
You just checked. There's no rats in here, dwarf.
All right, you win this round, Jack.
It's all right, Gertie. I didn't see any rats. You might be right.
Now that we have determined that the illness is rat fever and we know that it is not a communicable disease, you can go and visit them.
Oh.
Med Bay. It is not something that you yourself can catch unless you are bitten by a rat.
Jack's like, and he sits back on the bunk, and Fred's just like, oh, very good. I'll go. I'm going to go check on them now. I think that'd be good. And he kind of hurries off.
Wonderful.
Jack, are you normally this filled with malaise?
Oh, what?
Do you feel less, Jack than normal?
It's been a long time on this stinking boat. I'd like to get back among the trees.
Yeah, there's not many trees on the boat. That's true.
When they tell you it's going to take a month, it doesn't seem that bad until you're doing it. And it's just like, can we just get there?
I don't disagree with you, Jack.
Hey, doctor lady, come here a second.
Yes. What do you need?
So see, Frederick just ran off. I know he's in charge of, he's supposed, the leader, whatever. He's making the decisions about the lumberjacking and whatnot. But it's between me and you. He's not very good at it. Anyway, he told Lars and Victoria to head down to the hold to look for some, I guess he wanted to check on tools or something, which is ridiculous. They're all wrapped in oil, cloth. But, so Lars, he can't even tell somebody if he did get bit. He can't talk.
Right.
He got his throat ripped out by a beast man years ago.
Oh, goodness.
But, I don't know. I feel like someone needs to have an eye on Frederick.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just feel like you sent them down there for no real reason, and now they're
Right.
sick. Not
Right.
okay.
It's interesting. You mentioned they went to the hold.
Yes.
We will have to check that out. And I do appreciate you alerting me to this. We will keep an eye on him. If anything awkward happens, please do let us know, and we will try to handle it.
Let's.
We appreciate you coming to us in this way as well. It's best to address any sort of criticism of your superiors in a private setting.
He just kind of grimaces at you like, oh.
I love that. So,
And then he, like, kind of shoots you and he's like, all right.
We'll go.
I'm off to the hold.
Yeah, it sounds like the hold is
Probably the place to be.
the epicenter of this infection.
Could be.
No, I think it's below us.
All right, if you guys are going to head to the hold,
To the
I
hold.
will direct you to our foundry.
I think Heinrik is actually going to make a point of notifying his superior about the private criticism.
Who's Fred? Elsbeth?
No, to Frederick, who was accused of not being very good at his job.
Oh, okay. He headed to the med bay.
Yeah, and along the way, I'm going to see if I can scare up one of my servants to give an update to Elsa.
Elsbeth?
Elsbeth, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So on your way to the med bay is below decks of the bunks, and then the cargo hold is way in the bottom pretty much. So you can head down to the med bay first. And on your way you see Frederick heading back.
Oh, that was quick.
Frederick, I have some unfortunate information that I must pass your way.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes. After you left earlier, I must tell you that Jack spoke ill of your honor as a professional, and I thought it best that you know. I know from experience that harsh discipline is important for maintaining order and loyalty among your employees.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. I mean, that's kind of how it usually goes with him. But thanks. I'll file that away.
Thank you.
Under I for insubordination.
And he kind of like awkwardly like sort of bows and like not sure how to talk to somebody of such a high station. And then he hurries off. Okay, so you can find your way down to the hold. There's a couple different holds on this ship because it's so big. One of them has just like dwarven vehicles of different types. This one is one of the holds for the expedition. A whole nother hold is just like Elsbeth's, like the House Leibowitz that people aren't allowed into other than them. Like their personal things and stuff for like the governor's mansion and whatnot. So this is the hold that you have access to. So as you guys enter, I'm going to reveal the first room. Let's go this one. Give me just a second here. I'm not sure if this will reveal like in real time or after I finish clicking.
Ooh.
Looks like it's after I finish clicking.
How's your pine sol drink?
I'm still drinking it, apparently.
Yeah? Can't be that bad then.
Nah.
Did it reveal that whole first room?
Yes.
On the right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you can see in here and
It says game paused for us.
I just hit spacebar. I'll unpause it.
You lie.
No.
There you
Ah,
go.
there it goes.
I had I paused and unpaused.
Cool.
All right, so we don't have to go into like initiative or anything like this. So you can just talk about where you want to go. Look around in here. You see, this is a very large room. It's about 6 or 7 yards deep and probably close to 20 wide, if not more, full of crates and barrels and all kinds of stuff. You guys might have a little bit of, you might have some things down here if you have, well, I know Heinrik has like his horse and saddle and stuff there's a whole another hold that's like stables. So maybe you don't really have things in here.
I am going to take out my shield and my axe because there could be large rats here.
Fair. Makes sense.
Yes, I do believe I will also arm myself with my hand weapon, just in case. I am not the expert in this situation, but
What is your hand weapon?
it's a hand weapon. I think just a sword.
Okay.
You told me when I did character creation that I could just write hand weapon because they're all the same.
Right, but I want you, for description's sake, I want you to have something.
My axe is also a hand weapon.
I'm going to
gonna
pull out
have
my
Gertie's-
sling and I'm going to load it.
I'm
Okay.
going to have Gertie's axe then as my hand weapon.
Hey, I have one that's just like that.
Heinrich, you gonna arm yourself or not bother?
Nope. Heinrich's definitely not
fair.
going to do that. Thinks this is overly paranoid and just kind of rambunctious behavior.
I'm working.
Okay.
So
So we're like not. Oh, sorry.
it's okay.
We're not like in combat rounds or anything, all right?
No, you're just exploring at this point.
So can I just like walk over here and check out these like barrels and stuff?
Sure.
I wedge myself nice and tight in between these barrels and this box.
All right.
Do-
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Not really. I don't really know exactly where rats would hide, but like Lily is very good at it. So I'll like look at what she's doing and then do that, but without a dog.
Okay. That makes
In
sense.
which case,
yeah.
I'm staying in the doorway and I'm saying, Vicious, go. And I'm going to let Vicious sort of sniff around and figure out which way to go.
The lumberjacks were injured looking in at their tools, and the engineer was injured while gathering some papers.
Mhm.
So perhaps those would be two places to check first.
So we're gonna find that stuff.
That'd be a pretty good idea.
Or we could just go, like, treat it grid style and just go square by square.
I was hoping to let Vicious lead me where he
Right.
sniffed out the rats.
Yeah, let Vicious do it.
All right. So why don't we make a perception check for Vicious?
Does Vicious have his own stats?
Yes. As a dog,
Do you want me to roll him or are you going to roll him?
just made a token for Vicious. I'll put on the map.
If there's something suspicious, it will be found by Vicious.
Ooh,
So
put that on a mug.
we'll get Vicious's stats down more in the future, but for now, looking at a dog, they
Damon,
have.
Did
Huh?
you give Vicious 2000 XP as well, like the rest of the party, so that we could level up this dog?
No.
Yeah, you should.
I will use there are I think it was Andy Law on his blog has rules for leveling up henchmen, which will count Vicious as in the future. For now, dogs typically have an initiative of 35. I'm going to say because he's a dog, and he's been trained, and we'll say that he has a perception of 55 for this. So you can sniff around this room if you want to roll that for him.
He has the same perception I do. I think it should be higher than mine.
Oh, that's perfect, actually.
That works out well.
Minus 54, technically.
So he is better.
It's going to net me no success levels by being 1 point better
It's
than
true.
True.
It could. Well, no, you're right.
I am. So Vicious and I go together looking. Would I roll once for him, once for me?
Sure.
All right. Me first. -1. Vicious gets 4 successes.
Wow. So he is better.
Yeah, he is better. That's why I rolled me first.
So he's sniffing around, and you seem to notice like a pattern that he's going as he's sniffing around. You see him going from the set of doors you came in to the set of doors across the way, further into the hold. And you see him kind of like he found a trail.
All right. Quietly. And I'm looking at you.
What?
We're going to go through those doors. That's where the rats are. Through there.
Alrighty, so you can open those doors. I'll move some pawns over there. Zoop. Ooh.
Boop-a-doo-wee.
I don't think you have to be super quiet with rats. Their ears are very tiny.
All right, so you can open up the next door, which I'll reveal this room. I'll make sure we can see all
everybody's dot.
Yeah.
the walls.
So weird.
Yeah.
All right, so that should be revealed. Our room marked B,
Oh,
so we can see what's going on.
B for Rat Bay.
Instead of Med Bay.
Right.
So you see a bunch more crates and barrels. This room's not as packed full as the first one, but everything, I mean, you guys have never come down here before. It doesn't seem out of the ordinary.
I'm going to slink along the edge with the barrels with Vicious to see where he's going. Follow the scent.
Okay. Do another check for Vicious. I almost said Precious. That's not right.
I rolled for myself first and got a 92. Now Vicious will roll well. Watch. No, he rolled a 76.
It's better though.
It's a -2.
Shucks.
The rest of you should try and help out this dog and woman. See if we can scare up any additional leads.
Could we do perception checks to help out as well?
What are you looking for with this? You sniffing the ground for a rat track?
I'm not sniffing. Probably just looking for any evidence of like chewing, like on the wood or droppings.
Okay. Sure.
I don't see anything. I got -3.
Oh, I totally forgot. This place isn't lit in any way.
Oh, well then.
Does anybody have torches in their possessions?
No.
Or a lantern?
I have night vision.
Me too.
So I think the dwarf and halfling can kind of see. The dog can smell and whatnot. I forgot to say it before, so we'll just say, Heinrik, are you okay with carrying a lantern?
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to have a torch so that you grabbed one?
I mean, yeah, I will need
Or a
that.
lantern? I guess they wouldn't. The dwarves wouldn't really want to have open torches in a confined ship, so a lantern would make more sense.
Sure.
So Heinrik has a lantern and Bethen has a lantern?
Yes,
Are you
I have
saying-
a lantern.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have lantern in one hand and sword in the other?
Yes.
All right, so you can see a bit in here. So it's kind of like shining a flashlight around to see, which is going to make these tests difficult.
Yeah.
But in room B here, you don't really find anything.
Perhaps we should continue forward more.
Yes. It is very funny to me. The most adventure I get at home is going in basement and looking for rats. I thought that there would be more to exploring the world than going into basements and looking for rats.
For once, I agree with you in general. This is certainly not what I had in mind in terms of intrepid adventuring.
Go to the Southlands, they say. Go in the cargo bay and look for rats. No one say.
You continue. Go
To
ahead.
point out a small detail, though, these rats are more impressive in size than the rats you would find at home.
They, our rats are always impressive, but these are also good rats, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
All right, so you notice in the room, the next room here, it opened up. There wasn't another doorway. And it kind of curves around. You can see lots more barrels and crates. And then you see another doorway further to the east.
It's a cool revealing map.
It is.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's very satisfying too to just like watch it disappear.
That's cool.
Can I do another perception check? See if I
Yes,
can-
I'm going to make... they should have been a little more difficult because it is dark in here. Even with the lanterns, it's hard to see around. These should be hard -20 checks.
Well, I just can't see anything.
85.
Oh, I thought that was a good
86.
little dance thing.
Yes.
That's the best year, 1986.
So if I evened it at 50 and 55, 0 success levels, is it -2 because of the hard mode?
Yes.
Poop. So
I don't think it
-2
should be hard for her though. This is her job.
I'll say for vicious, it won't be hard because it's not based on sight for vicious. He's
Yeah.
sniffing around.
Vicious still failed. He got a 90.
All right, so you're not
Heinrik.
notice.
Heinrich sighs, and he's going to pull out his foil and use it as kind of like a poking instrument because he's not going to like touch any of this stuff. But after seeing everybody else come up empty, he's begrudgingly going to make a perception check.
Yeah.
Angry
Switch out the
now.
dice.
And excitingly, Heinrich did succeed with 1 success, even as a difficult check.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Way to go.
So as you're poking around, you do notice, maybe Bethen mentioned before she was looking for like scratches and stuff, and you do see that there are 2 doors coming from the current room that you're in, and you see that they actually both look a little more worn than what we saw before. Maybe some more, like maybe the bottoms of them have been scratched up by the floor a little bit more.
These doors are even more filthy than some of the other areas of this cargo hold. Why don't you all go ahead and check ahead?
So we have a door to the east and a door to the north. And all these are big double doors that are at least 2 or 3 yards wide to allow for these large crates to move through.
Your ability to notice filth is very good.
For someone as refined as myself, you always have to be concerned with perfection.
He is so good.
Yes.
So north or east? Which way do we want to go?
Going east has not done anything for us yet. Let's try a different direction.
To the north.
All right, so you can head through that doorway, revealing another large room. You see a long line of barrels along the northern wall, a number of really big crates, not as many of the standard barrels in here. I want everybody to make a... even if you weren't planning on looking, everybody make a hard perception check. Not hard for vicious.
Oh, I made that on the top.
Actually, average for vicious.
I rolled a 1.
Wow.
I'm pretty excited about
I rolled
that.
a 4.
Ah, yeah.
Vicious rolled a 60. So he was already at a -1.
But you gave him average.
Yeah.
It's just so he passed it. Average is plus 20.
Nice.
I think I said it while people were exclaiming their rolls
I'm
happily.
still figuring that
Oh.
out. So
So it's a challenging roll, so a +0 for the rest of us.
Hard for everybody. Oh, no, did I say?
you said hard for everybody, average for vicious.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
1 success level.
Wow, that's a big gap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heinrich does not succeed then.
Did Bethen?
Yes.
Okay.
Or on the nose.
So you notice Vicious starts acting a little weird where he's kind of like sniffing the air and then like not sneezing, but like snuffing out. And Bethen, you notice it probably because of your experience with dealing with diseases and whatnot. It smells a little different in here, but you're not sure what with only 1 success level. It just smells a little off compared to the other rooms you've been in. A little dank, maybe.
I think we might find some dank memes in here.
I thought it might be pepper because vicious sneeze and pepper makes dog sneeze.
No, he wasn't sneezing.
Oh,
He's just snuffing out like he didn't like it. Like
That's his I don't like it face.
does he like pepper?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It is not pepper.
Nope. There's something in here that he doesn't like.
All right, let's
Since
begin inspecting.
we rolled really well.
Yes.
Can I tell what it is by smell? Is it something I would recognize?
oh, you passed as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry.
I had 4 levels of success.
Oh, 4
No,
levels.
2.
Okay. So it smells different in here, but you notice all those big barrels along the northern wall seem to be casks of wine.
I'm gonna go over and take a look at those and see if I can tell anything. Maybe open one, tell what kind of wine it is.
All right.
I'm being extra nosy about the actual wine factor as well.
Naturally. With those 4 success levels, I will let kind of roll that over, and you see that one of them is slowly leaking.
Oh,
dripping
we're
just a
leaking.
little bit.
I'm gonna stick my finger under it and actually taste the wine.
It's a decent red.
Not bad. I don't think Heinrik would like it though.
No.
Yeah, Heinrik is only interested in Bretonian wine.
I was just going to say that if it's not Bretonian, Heinrich probably won't drink it because they make the best wine.
I did not think that floor wine would be Heinrich's go-to.
It's not bad. Just just a little clammy, a little grit in the middle, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'd cook with it.
I'm sure that it is near the ceiling of your palate's ability to discern.
Oh, snap.
Ouch.
Sick burn.
High level burn.
You do also notice there is a door to the northwest of this room.
Oh, Jews.
There's so many doors here. They should call this door town.
Good one.
Thanks.
I want to inspect the hole, see why it's leaking. Is it leaking because there's like a crack, or is it leaking because something was gnawing at it?
From what you see, you probably have experience with wine casks and whatnot. It just seems like it's not. It's just imperfect, and there's just the ever so slightly those 2 boards of the cask are not flush. Maybe the whatever they use on the inside to kind of water seal it just didn't hold in that one spot. So it's just every so often a little drip comes out.
Oh, it's just like a little tiny wine.
Yes,
Okay.
just enough to say like it's barely leaking, but it is.
And we have a tankard with them. Just
It's in the room.
And then when
one
we
time
come
I
back,
bring it
through,
with
it'll be
me.
full.
I didn't want to use it because we were going to the galley, and I was like, well, they have their own cups. And then if I bring my cup in and I fill it, then I try to take it out, they're going to be like, hey, leave your cup. And then I'm like, this is my cup. Yeah, you know.
I get it. Right.
Would Vicious want to go lick this up? Do you think, or is this something that you would have trained her not to just, or trained him to
I
not
would have
just?
trained him to not just lick it up off the floor,
Okay.
but I do have a cute sense taste.
Oh.
Mm.
So when you taste this, yeah, you know it's a red. It's relatively bitter. It's not Bretonian. It's not that good, but it's not bad.
Are talents a one a day, or can I use it as many times as I want?
As many times.
Cool.
Yeah.
Talents usually just give you some kind of bonus or like an additional rule to do.
Can we, because we're not really coming up with anything, can we like check through some of these boxes and make sure there's no like rat holes and barrels and corners and stuff?
You can try. Yeah. You have at least two rooms that you haven't explored yet at all.
Yeah.
So if you want to start digging through, you can
I
whenever.
mean, not like digging through, but just, check the outside and behind things, that type of stuff.
Yeah, you could do that. Do another hard perception check.
I'll do it too.
I'm making these hard because even though you have lanterns cast harsh shadows that make it hard to tell exactly what's going on, hard to see. And you only have 2 anyway.
Even with night vision, it's hard for the night vision people.
I guess in that case, it would be, I forgot about that. And if you're using it for looking, let me look exactly how night vision is worded.
It pretty much just extends light by 20 feet or 20 yards, I believe. And if there's no light, you can see like 20 yards around you. It kind of reads like low light vision in Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, if you have at least a faint source of light. So I'll say instead of making it hard for those of you with night vision, it'll be challenging.
Great. 2 success levels.
Just enough. Looks like Liliana's looking as well.
Yeah.
Also 2 success levels?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so you guys are looking around in here. As you're searching through the boxes, well, you said like looking around and behind and whatnot. One of that, like most everything is like up against the wall, and most things are tied as well. Again, in case the ship rocks too much, things aren't sliding around. You do notice a couple boxes are not firmly up against the wall, but they're still within the ropes.
Is there anything behind them? Raisins on the floor or anything?
Nothing that you see here.
All right. Seems like pretty standard boxes to me.
Perhaps like similar to a disease, this is further in than we expected it would be. I think that we should go to the next room.
Yeah, I want to go in through the other door in the back here.
Yes.
The one to the northwest?
Yes, this big black square.
Very good. I'll reveal that room. So you'll head into that room, and we have the smallest room we've seen so far. Again, a couple of barrels, a lot of different crates and boxes. Looks the same as any others. The smell from the wine isn't really in here because that door was closed, but it looks pretty much the same as all the other rooms we've looked in.
Let us percept.
Yes, let's look.
I'm not going to do that. Never mind.
Man, I am on fire today. That is a 10.
Oh, wow. I wasn't sure if you meant like rolling really high.
It's a one or the other. Nothing in the middle.
-2 successes for Lily. And then the perception, he was average? Vicious?
Yeah.
So... where am I adding the 20? Am I adding the 20 to my roll?
Add it to your whatever you're rolling against. So if your perception, when I said was like 55, you would count it as 75.
In which case, he has 5 levels of perception.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
That's why I asked
There
it.
So
you go,
you're-
vicious.
He's sniffing around this room. To everybody else, it seems pretty standard. And Vicious sniffs around a little bit and then immediately leaves this room as if it's like nothing, no big deal. And back to the room labeled D you were just in. It goes past the wine, and it's kind of, you think he maybe have caught some scent again. And he starts sniffing back and forth all the way back to room C between the 2 doors.
All right. The minute Vicious turns around and leaves, I'm just turning around and following Vicious.
Yep.
That's not a question for Liliana.
I mean, Vicious is the expert here, so.
Yes.
Can't seem to I have everybody selected. I can't figure out how to deselect.
It figures that it would be the one way we did not go.
Right.
yeah.
Because I was bored of going east.
Good one. Yeah, so Vicious just keeps going back and forth between the door to the north and the door to the east. And then like pointing towards the way you came in.
Well, let's take a look around.
Yeah. To the east.
So head into the room to the east.
Yes.
So this is revealed room F. So you can go in. So everybody can make your perception checks.
Ah, there we go. -3 success levels.
I got a 91 again. Vicious also got a 96.
Uh-oh. Heinrik, are you looking around?
You're muted, Heinrik. You must speak louder.
Heinrich's pretty reluctant to look before anybody else, but if he has an opportunity to be successful where others have failed, he'd take it. But in this case, I've rolled a 92.
Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
That didn't go over well.
Would anybody like to use a fortune point or beseech the dark gods?
Absolutely not.
I'll use a fortune point.
Okay.
I'll use one. If I use one, does that count for me and Vicious or just me?
I would let you use a fortune point to choose who's re-rolling, you or Vicious.
You can also beseech the dark gods and ask them for help.
What does that even mean?
Oh, you didn't tell her what that means either. That's so weird.
I did forget about that one. So for reroll, in case you're out of fortune, you don't want to use a fortune point, or you're out of fortune points, but you still need a reroll, you can beseech the dark gods and get a reroll, but you gain 1 corruption point as you're subconsciously tapping into the power of the ruinous powers.
And once you get so many corruption points, you have to roll for mutations.
I mean, that's not bad for me since I resist chaos anyway.
It's true.
I'm just going to use a fortune point to reroll for vicious.
Okay.
And he's going to roll flat zeros.
Oh, that's 100.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right. Well, you guys looking around, this room seems pretty much like the rest.
I'll just kind of kick some barrels and...
There are a couple real big crates in here, a couple barrels.
Is any of this stuff labeled? Like, we know that the engineer was looking for papers. We know that the lumberjacks were checking on tools. Like, while we might not be able to look in the crates, they should be labeled, I would expect.
The crates and things themselves have like symbols on them, which would kind of correspond to the different guilds they belong to, but it's not like this contains kitchen supplies, you know.
I'm trying to think of what I can roll to just like read the symbols. Oh, what about language gilder?
Yeah, so you'd recognize like a symbol that would represent the lumberjacks, one for the engineers, one for the miners, things like that.
Can I roll to see if any of those symbols are in this room?
You don't need to roll.
Okay.
And here you see the gilder symbols for the lumberjacks and for the engineers, for sure.
So the issue's got to be in this room. We just need to not fail perception checks.
Yeah. Which crates are the lumberjacks and which ones are the engineers?
They're kind of mixed about in here.
Okay.
I'm going to start shifting boxes.
Okay. As best as you can.
As best as my halfling self
You see,
can,
most
yes.
of these boxes are at least 2 yards across. They're big crates. As you're shifting them about, you hear a sound. Like a squeak.
Going in the right direction. Anybody with bigger arms want to help?
My arms are very big.
It's like an angry squeak. We'll find out what that might mean on episode 3.
Dun, dun, dun.